Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to go over sharpening up your basic set of wood turning tools. So let's get into it. So right here is my setup for grinding. It is a Rikon 8-inch low speed grinder. You want it to be low speed because just your standard high speed grinders spin a little too quick for the steel and they kind of burn it away rather than cut it. Low speed grinders will go through a lot less steel on your tools and they also give you a much better edge. I'm also using the Wolverine system, not a sponsor. It's just two bases here with these arms that you can rotate in and out. I've got a platform base for all of my scraping type tools, and the other one here is a V-arm base, and I use that for most of my gouges. These are the two main jigs that I use. This one right here is what I would recommend if you're just going to buy one jig. It's the Varigrind jig from One Way. This will grind pretty much all of your gouges. You can even do your bowl gouges on this thing. It's important to always set this arm here to 23 degrees between this part here and the shaft of your tool. And then this guy right here is the David Ellsworth jig. This is what I use for my bowl gouges. The difference with this guy here is that this arm right here is actually maybe an inch or so longer than the one on the Varigrind jig. And also the angle between the shaft of your tool and this piece here is at 45 degrees. Gives you a little bit different of a grind on your bowl gouges. And to set these jigs, all I have is this block here with a 2-inch hole in it so that I can just place my tool in there and it will always set the tip of the tool 2 inches from the jig. So I'm going to start off sharpening by showing you guys how I do just my standard bowl gouge. Get the V-arm base in there. This is what the grind looks like. It is a swept back Irish grind with a relief grind on the bevel, so it has a double bevel. I do this grind with my Ellsworth jig. The bevel is supposed to be at 60 degrees. I've got a setup tool right here that allows me to set the wheel always at 60 degrees to the tool. I can just slide this guy into the jig. And we can turn it on. So I start at the tip and slowly work my way around to the edge. Now we can just take it out of the jig, and I just freehand the second bevel on there. You can see the profile on the gouge right here. Bevel's at 60 degrees. I have a nice sweeping arc from point to point here. The only thing I look for in my bowl gouge is I don't want any crazy low spots where the bevel might dip in or get flat. I want it to be rounded over all the way through. And you can also see the double bevel right here. All this does is allow me a lot more flexibility working with the tool, especially on the inside of a bowl. When you're coming around that inside curve, this gives you a lot less bevel contact, a lot easier to work with. So that is the bowl gouge. Next up, we're going to do just your standard spindle gouge. This one here is a 3/8. You want the bevel to be set at 45 degrees. So I'll just pull out my 45 degree setup tool here, pull it up to the wheel, lock it in place, and I use the Varigrind jig to do this one. Same thing as the bowl gouge, just start at the tip and work your way to the wing. This is what the spindle gouge looks like when I'm done sharpening it. It's actually quite a short little profile there. It's very unlike the bowl gouge where these wings come all the way back here. I just sort of end them nice and short. The bevel's at 45 degrees, and there is no arc here. I don't want there to be any low spots, but I don't really want it shaped like the Irish grind on a bowl gouge. It's just pretty straight across, and that's it. That's it for the spindle gouge. On to the next tool. The third pretty standard gouge that I use is the roughing gouge. This one has a 40 degree bevel and it's pretty straight across. And I actually don't do this with the arm base. And I'll put in the platform. When I cut out this 40 degree setup tool, I made this little flat spot here with a little ledge. And I can set the platform using this. This one is a lot less complicated. All I do is bring it up till it touches, sort of hold my finger at the bottom here to make sure I don't go too far over the platform, and I just hold it straight across the wheel and just rotate it. I don't want to tip the tool this way or that. All I do is hold it parallel with the wheel, bring it in, and just turn it. So this is what my roughing gouge looks like after I'm done sharpening. It's a pretty straightforward grind there. There's really no shape to it. It's just very flat across. Not much contour to it at all. It's just a nice straight profile there. And the bevel here is at 40 degrees. So that's it for this one. Let's go on to the next tool. This right here is my parting tool. We're going to sharpen this one up next. I keep the angle at 25 degrees. And I do not have a setup tool to set the platform to that. So here's the trick that you can use if you don't have those setup jigs for any of your other tools. All you do is take a Sharpie marker, just draw it all over the bevel. And what you do is you just sort of eyeball set this jig somewhere in there, and you rub the wheel against it. And you just adjust your jig until you see that you're grinding away a straight line and you're not just taking material away from the tip or the bottom. You want it to be in the middle, and we're ready to sharpen. So it's pretty easy, just bring it up till it touches. Do the other side. And that's it. That right there is what the parting tool looks like after I'm done sharpening. There's really not much to say about this one. I just want to show you guys a close-up view of the profile of that there. It's just straight across. And that's pretty much it. This is my Skew. I never really use this tool. I don't really know how to properly use it. It's a once in a while thing for me. So knowing that, just bear in mind that I don't really know what angle the bevel should be set at. I just checked mine and I am at 23 degrees. So I'm just going to say that 20 degrees is a comfortable bevel for me to work at. And again, I don't have a setup tool to set the platform, so we'll just use the Sharpie marker. Like I still need to adjust it just a hair. That looks about good. We'll turn it on, and all I do with this is just bring it up just like a parting tool, but I do put a little bit of a radius on the edge there because I did find that it's a little easier to work with that way. So all I do to accomplish that is just bring it up and just sort of rotate the handle either which way and just shape up that bevel. So we'll turn it on, get going. So here's the Skew, and you can see a lot better what I was talking about when I was saying that I like putting a little bit of a radius on the edge there. It's easier to work with for me because I like all the cutting action on the Skew to be sort of in the middle of that bevel there. I don't want it to be on the bottom edge or on the top. So putting this little radius there really helps direct most of the cutting just towards the center where I want it. You can see the shape of it there. It's pretty straightforward. It's an easy grind to do. And that's it for the Skew. So let's move on to the next tool. The last one I'm going to show you guys how to sharpen is a scraper. This right here is my bowl scraper, and it's very similar just to a spindle round nose scraper. Same rules apply when sharpening this. I keep the bevel on this at 65 degrees. Anywhere between 60 and 70 is pretty good for a scraper. So I'm just going to go ahead, set the jig. That looks pretty good. So all I do with this guy is just bring it in, very light cuts because I am at a rather steep angle right now. And all I do is just bring it up and swing the handle either which way and just shape that bevel up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and do that. And that's it. So there's a scraper after I'm finished sharpening it. It's a pretty simple grind to do also. It's just a really straightforward, the bevel looks like that. And I just bring that bevel way back to the edge here because when I'm scraping out the inside of a bowl, I like to use this part right here as well. And This method of sharpening scrapers can also go for just your regular round nose scraper like that. Just a very simple grind, just round it over there. It's one of the easier ones to do. And that's it for the scraper. That's it for the video, guys. I hope this was helpful for a lot of you out there who are just starting turning. I know a lot of you guys like using carbide cutters because they're easy and you don't really need to sharpen them. But I believe high-speed steels are way more capable in the turning world than carbide cutters are. So I prefer using them, and once you learn how to sharpen properly, it's really not a big deal to go over to the grinder and touch them up every now and then. So just to sum up everything I've talked about in this video, if I was just getting into turning, I would purchase a cheap bench grinder like what I have here. Just invest maybe $100 in one of these things. Get the Wolverine jig, and this jig right here is nice, the Bear Grind jig, but you can also make these, and I actually have a video that I made last year sometime on how to make one of these jigs. So I would get this, and I also use these setup tools right here. If you know a buddy who has some of these, just ask if you can trace them out onto a sheet of plywood and cut them out yourself. That's what I did here. I just traced out the store product and cut them out with a scroll saw, and they work just as well. If you're not going to do that though, you can also just do that trick with the Sharpie marker. The only thing you want to maintain is just, you want to keep it at the same angle. You want to consistently shape the same exact profile on your gouges because you're going to build muscle memory from using them for so long, and you want to keep it the same. So something as simple as just drawing on the bevel with a Sharpie marker and making sure that your grinder is set up to repeat that same grind goes a long way as far as developing skill goes at wood turning. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to have all the fancy jigs and things. One more thing I want to talk about is touching up your tools in between uses. Hey, I found my scratch-all. What? I've been looking for this thing for the past year. Okay, where'd it go? There we go. This is a ceramic slipstone that I use. A lot of guys have never really seen these. What I use this for is in between my touch-ups on the bench grinder, I will take one of these bad boys right here and just sort of work my burr back up on the tool. I might do this 2 times while I'm turning, and when it gets dull from there, I touch it up on the bench grinder. This just saves steel. It's much quicker than going over, setting up your jigs, and sharpening up. You don't have to use a slipstone. I know a lot of guys will have just a little diamond abrasive card. A lot of guys use them for knife sharpening, and you just take that and just work your burr back up on the tool. Get it sharp again, keep on turning. Do that a couple times, and then touch it up on the bench grinder. Another thing I didn't talk about in this video are the type of wheels that I have on my bench grinder. These are called CBN wheels. I bought mine from Woodturners Wonders, and I actually did a video about them sometime last year. I have a 350 grit wheel on this side here that is just for quick touch-ups and regrinding. This one is a much coarser. It's 80 grit, and I use that if I'm reshaping a tool or just trying to remove a lot of material quickly. This grinder came with just the standard aluminum oxide, just the stone wheels, and I like them, but you have to maintain them. You have to clean them and dress them to keep using them. You don't have to do that with CBN. It's much easier to work with. So I'll put a link in the description to all of the tools I've used in this video, all the jigs, the bench grinder, the wheels, all that stuff. So go check it out, consider investing in some, and that's it. So stay tuned for my next video, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all then. Thanks for watching.